Hi, this is Paige from Paige Pilates, and today we've got a 30-minute class that is osteoporosis friendly, spinal injury friendly. There will be no spinal flexion unless you would like to add it. So for example, you might have an issue with a lumbar disc in your lower back, and so it might feel fine to bend your upper back while keeping your lower back in neutral. So I'm going to shout out a lot of options for you. But if your doctor, physical therapist, etc., has told you no spinal flexion, then this is going to be great for you. And flexion, in case you're like, I don't remember which way that is, flexion is when you curve forward and you round your back in that direction. All right, let's get started. We are normally going to start, hello Ellie, with our standing roll downs, but for a lot of people with active spinal injuries or osteoporosis, that doesn't feel good or is contraindicated, so we're just going to leave them out. You can always pause the video and do them on your own. We're going to start lying down on your back with your arms by your sides, knees bent, feet flat for our neutral series. So we're finding that neutral pelvis, neutral spine. We're bracing in the abdominals, and then we're lifting one leg to tabletop and putting it back down. So a lot of times when we have a spine injury that we're dealing with, that doesn't mean you can't move at all. You just need to listen to your body more. When I injured my disc, my L405, I had a bulging disc, I was scared of movement, which is funny because I'm a professional dancer and a Pilates instructor. I wasn't at the time a Pilates instructor yet. It was sinking in. Now, if you want to make this harder, you could go up, up, down, down. Hopefully you're feeling some work, some fire happening in your center here. But we can't be afraid of movement because movement is life. Movement is so important. You have to be able to move to get places. And there's joy in movement. So finding ways to move that are pain-free, you could always upgrade to toe taps. But feel free not to take these upgrades and to stick with version 1 or version 2. It is better to meet your body where you are at today than to push it so far that you get another injury or you make your injury worse. Then you have to rest for longer. Nobody wants that. Good. Finish up whatever version you're on and then place one leg down and the other. So we're going to go into bridges and we're going to lift and lower the spine in one piece. We're not going to articulate. So on your exhale, you're going to lift your hips up. And so the spine is still in neutral. And then lower the hips down. And again, you exhale. And then you inhale to lower. So we're trying to feel some work in the glutes, in the hamstrings. And the abdominals are supporting you here. They're not going to feel like the muscle that's working really hard, but they are working to keep your spine long and supported. And again, exhale. While you're doing these bridges, can you open your collarbones just a little bit more so that the shoulders don't round? Exhale. Inhale. Let's do 2 more, pushing down into both feet equally. Exhale. Inhale. Excellent. 1 more. Exhale. And inhale. Lovely. We have options for your 100. For some people, it will not bother your condition to curl the upper back up. My lumbar spine is still in neutral here. So you could do your 100 as, is done classically. Now, if you know you should not be curling forward, then join me in keeping the head down. And we're going to pump the arms. Inhale for 5. Exhale for 5. In 2, 3, 4, 5, and X 2, 3, 4, 5. You can always lift your legs to tabletop if you want to add a challenge. In 2, 3, 4, 5, nice firm pats. Or you could stretch your legs out on the diagonal for even more challenge. Don't let the back arch and don't let the abs poke up towards the ceiling or dome. This is also great if you're having neck tension or neck pain. You're in a little fender bender and your neck freaks out and you can't move your neck. You can still do your 100 with the head down. It's totally fine. In 2, 3, 4, 5, and X 2, 3, 4. Last round. 10. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold and hug your knees into your chest. So again, there's ways to work around it. So you don't have to do no movement at all. You just change it, you adapt. From here, we're gonna go into our single leg circles. So place your left leg down, either bent or straight, depending on what makes your body feel better. And then grab the back of your right leg. Let's work that hamstring a little bit. Just some dynamic stretches here, straightening and bending that knee. And the flex of the ankle is gonna increase that stretch, and I can feel it in my calf today. Oh, yes, I can. And we're just, if your knee doesn't get to straight, oh well, something to work towards. It's not important. Now, point and flex that foot. Wake up the arch, the ankle, the toes. You know, we put our feet in shoes all day, little coffins for our feet. And it's really important to move your feet. All right, we're gonna flex that foot. Flex both feet unless your knee is bent, which by all means do so, or bend both knees. The spine is not gonna move at all. And we're gonna circle the leg and we're gonna exhale. Good, inhale and exhale. 2 more, inhale. Lovely, exhale, pause, reverse, inhale. So here, the leg circles are distracting your center. They're making your center stabilize you so you don't, flap around like a fish. Good, 1 more. And we switch to the other side. You grab the back of that left leg and you straighten and bend your knee, getting that hamstring stretch. Oh boy. I am tight today, man. So this is a really good one that's not just reaching for your toes. It's using the muscle to find that end range. I love dynamic stretches. They're so useful. And then you point and flex the foot a few times with the leg as stretched as possible, long, long, long towards the ceiling. Good, we flex the foot. We flex both feet if the legs are straight. Arms down by your side, think about those shoulders, and then across, down, around, and up. And inhale, down, around, and up. Good, exhale. And inhale. 2 more, exhale. Holding strong right here. Good, reverse. Exhale. And inhale. And your circles are only as big as you can keep your spine still. We don't want the hips to move or the spine to twist. We want to be solid like a tree trunk. Last one. Good. And relax. All right, you might be thinking the Pilates ab series. How do you do that when you've got osteoporosis and you're not supposed to flex your spine? Guess what? You just keep your head down. So we're gonna hug one knee into your chest. The other leg reaches out on the diagonal and you switch and switch. And you're getting a hip flexor stretch as you pull this knee in. You're stretching out that psoas. You're also using the psoas as you reach the leg long, so you're multitasking. Now, if you're just having issues in your lumbar spine, you could curl forward and keep that lower back in neutral, but flex the thoracic spine. Now, hug both knees in. Head can be up or down. You reach your arms and legs away. And then you hug your knees. Reach arms and legs away. Circle the arms, hug your knees. Reach, exhale. Your legs only go as low as you can control that spine. 1 more. Exhale, hug. Rest your head if your head was lifted. Give your neck a few turns. A little break. All right. Single straight leg stretch. The legs go up and you grab the back of one leg, either above or below the knee. Just don't grab the knee. They don't like it. And then you pulse, and switch, and switch, and switch. And again, you could choose this option if you are not limited in your thoracic flexion. And 1 more. Good. All of us are going to put our head down, legs straight up. I love this one for every client I work with. Lower the legs and then exhale, pull them back up. This is like a super neutral series. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. And guess what? This is working all the same muscles that you would do in the roll up. Something I wouldn't give to people with osteoporosis with active spine injuries. Good. Bring your legs to tabletop. We're going to twist your spine side to side. So your knees are going to go to the right as you inhale. And exhale back to the center. And to the left as you inhale. I found the creaky part of the floor, didn't I? Exhale back to the center. And inhale to the right. And exhale back to center. So rotation is good for all spines unless it's painful. If it's painful, not just uncomfortable, painful, then we don't do it. But what you might try is maybe you don't go as far. Maybe you find a slightly smaller range of motion where there's no pain and you can still work the obliques. It's that same train of thought that is a 10-minute walk is better than a 0-minute walk. Even if you were like, well, I was gonna walk for an hour, but I only made it 10 minutes. Oh well, you did 10 minutes instead of 0. That counts. If your twists are a little smaller, they still count. All right, we are gonna flip over onto your belly. We're gonna do a little flight, a little prone hip extension, some good stuff here. So usually extension is really, really good for my people with osteoporosis, with spine injuries. But again, you know your body best. If it causes pain, you stop. And I'm not a doctor, so you see your doctor, you see your physical therapist, whoever you need to see. Arms are gonna reach by your side. You're like a torpedo. And you're gonna reach that tailbone towards your heels. So you're lengthening the lower back. Belly button pulling towards your spine to support your low back. Then you squeeze your shoulder blades together and down your back to find that extension. And exhale, lower. And inhale, extend, reach those arms back, back, back. And lower. Notice I'm not bending in the lower back at all. Inhale. Exhale. It's all in the upper back. Inhale. Open the collarbones. Heart goes forward. Exhale. Good. One more. Inhale. Reach that tailbone long, long, long. And exhale. Good. Make a pillow for your head with your hands. You're going to put your forehead on your hands. I'm going to turn my head so you can hear me. And we're going to lift one leg at a time. Straight leg and lower. And straight leg and lower. This is such a good one for undoing all of the sitting we tend to do when you're working, you're in the car, commuting, all of that. And so we're trying to extend the hip. Open up the front of the hip joint. And then work the glutes, the hamstrings. The abdominals are keeping your spine still, so you're not arching your lower back to do this. Your back's actually not moving at all. No spine movement here. Now lift and lower both legs. And lower. And lift. You breathe where it makes sense to you here. Don't stress out about the breath. It's way more important that you are not holding your breath. I don't want you to worry about being wrong. Yeah, 2 more. Lift and lower. Beautiful. 1 more. Belly button in. Lower. Good. We're coming up to our hands and knees now. So, child's pose is not always a good stretch for my osteoporosis people. But again, it depends. If you're dealing with a cervical issue, then it's fine to bend the lower back. So again, you listen to your body. Always many, many options. We're going to go into some bird dogs. And a fantastic neutral series exercise. So your spine's not going to move. You're going to reach that right arm forward and your left leg back. And then you try to bring them to the ground at the same time. Left arm, right leg, and lower. That's what I get for setting up too close to the door. And again, opposite arm and leg. And imagine that someone has placed a bowl of your favorite food that's, you know, a liquid, something that could spill. I'm imagining tomato soup. I want to dip grilled cheese into it. And I don't want to spill any of the soup, and it's sitting right on my spine. Good. Now we're not letting the shoulders come up towards the ears or have the head dangle down below. Push the mat away from you. Now, can you find opposite arm and leg? And then bring your elbow and knee in and out. And in. Ooh, balance challenge. And in and out. And in and out. Very good. One more. Long back of the neck. And out. Hand and knee down. Switching to the other leg. And you bend in. So again, my spine's not moving. I'm moving from the shoulder and the hip, not the spine. Finding the length. Can you reach your head and tailbone away from each other? We always want to make the spine longer in Pilates. Never compress the spine. Hands and knees down. And get off your wrists for just a moment. That's the biggest thing. If you get one thing out of Pilates, it's that the spine, it gets longer, not shorter. Never, ever compress. Yeah? That's why Pilates is so popular for people who have pain, is it's finding the length, finding the stretch and the strength. We're going to lie on your side. And you're going to have your legs slightly in front of your body. So you could line up your body with the back end of your mat and your foot with the front corner. And then make your neck comfortable. You might even grab a pillow or a rolled up sweatshirt right here. Or you can hold your head, whichever you'd prefer. You're going to stack your legs, flex your feet. Hand can support you here or come off the mat for an extra challenge. You lift and lower and lift and lower. Oh, we need to have strong outer hips to support our spine. I'm always working to get these ones stronger to support. My low back is very hypermobile, hence the disc injury. So I'm constantly making sure my hips are strong. And we use these muscles to do some really basic things like walking. So, we really want these to be healthy and ready to work. All right, we're gonna lift that leg up, point the foot, and then find little circles. I don't know, the size of a dinner plate, your face. Nothing crazy, because we're trying to keep the spine still. Yes, and reverse. Check in with your top waist. Has it gotten shorter, or can you lengthen it so that both sides of your waist are equal? Because we really want the hips to be stacked one on top of the other here, and the shoulders to be stacked one on top of the other. Relax, bend your knees. We're gonna find some clamshells, find some rotation here. So place your hand on this big hip bone right here. Make sure that bone doesn't move. And then open the knee and close. So we're moving in the ball and socket joint. The femur is rotating inside the socket. What we don't want to do is this. Ooh. We want the pelvis to stay still. Yes. And rotate. Good. And open. There's so many exercises you can do without flexing your spine. So many. There is a safe way to work out with even an active spine injury. Now, please see your doctor, see your physical therapist, get approval first, and then I'm sure that they will understand and they will recommend possibly Pilates is a great safe way to move while you have an injury. Come on up, we're gonna flip around to the other side. So line yourself up with the back edge of your mat. Make your neck comfortable. Whatever you did on the first side, do the same thing here. We want to try to be balanced from side to side. And then we lift and lower. So this is not a huge lift and lower. If we go too far, then we move the spine. It's not bad to move the spine. But right now, our goal is to move at the hip. So this is our abduction, abduction. And we're working these guys right here. And yes, they're burning. Oh, this is simple, but it's so good. And lift. Remember, listen to your body. If you need a break, guess what? This is a YouTube video. You can pause it. This is so easy. That's part of why this is so much fun. You can make it yours. Point that foot and draw little circles. Were you holding your breath? I was a little bit, so I'm checking in with you as well. And reverse, circles. Yes. For 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Glue your legs together. Bend your knees. We're gonna find your clamshells. Find this big hip bone right here. Hold on to it as you open and close. Yes. So now we're rotating at the hip. And we want to have rotation in the hip. The more mobile your hip is, the more flexible, the less your back has to compensate for your hip. So if use it or lose it. You want to use your hips for what their hips are supposed to do. A lot of times our back is like, ooh, I'll do it, I'll help. And then later our back goes, hey, I'm exhausted. I've been doing 7 people's work. None of us want to do other people's work. Just do your own work. That's really what Pilates is all about. Having each joint do its own job and nobody else's. Come on up to sitting. We're going to find a mermaid stretch. You have a lot of options for your legs. A more classical approach would be to stack the legs like so. My knees don't love that. So I'm going to go with more of a Z sit. Or if you've been on the reformer, this is more likely what leg position you've done. But you can also sit cross-legged or sit in a regular chair. Works just fine. Because some people, this is too much on the hips. Now, we're going to inhale and bend sideways. And exhale tall. And then we inhale and bend sideways. And exhale tall. And we do that again. Inhale, bend sideways. And exhale tall. So side bending is also something that is excellent even with spinal injuries, unless you've had a spinal fusion. Forgot to mention that at the beginning. Spinal fusion, you've likely talked to so many medical professionals, you know, I'm not too worried about you. But we don't move spinal fusions. If your spine is fused, we don't bend in any direction, not just forward. We don't bend that part of the spine. We're gonna flip the legs, do the other side. Find the same position, ideally. If not, we work towards it. We want to try to find balance on both sides. We inhale, side bend. Now, granted, with side bending, you still need to not smush the spine and bend. We want to lengthen the spine and bend. Yes. And you're not forcing it to the point of pain. You're finding a comfortable range of motion that is slightly challenging for you, but pain-free. We don't do pain in Pilates. Discomfort, yes. But the difference between being in pain and being uncomfortable, that's an important distinction, and unfortunately, only you can know. Even if I'm in person with you, I can't jump inside your body and figure out which one it is. So that's something you have to listen to your body about. I know, it takes practice, so if you're not there yet, that's okay, you will get there. Now, we're gonna find a tabletop. So, bring your hands behind you. Fingertips either point at your hips or out to the side. Don't go backwards. It's not a happy shoulder place for most people. Find one of these two positions. I go a little in between the two. Feet right in front of you. And then on your exhale, you lift your hips up. And on your inhale, you lower. So again, spine's not moving here, but we're working the glutes. There's some work in the shoulders. There's some stretch in the shoulders. There's a stretch across the front of the chest. Don't let your head hang back. Oh, I don't even want to show you. It hurts. Keep your chin the same distance from your chest the whole time, like you're holding a grapefruit right here. And you don't want to drop it. You know, when you're trying to carry the groceries all in one trip. Good. Let's do 2 more just like that. Don't let the shoulders come up. Keep them down as much as possible. Long, long neck. Good. One more. And lower. Good. Lie all the way down on your back. We're going to finish today with some breathing and a figure 4 stretch. So actually, we'll do the figure 4 stretch first. Cross one ankle over the other knee, and then grab this thigh. Now, if you're going, Paige, I can't reach, grab a scarf or a belt or something similar, loop it around this leg, and there you go. You can hold yourself there. If you're right here and you're like, no, I can't reach, then grab a prop. And it doesn't have to be Pilates specific. I have a scarf that only ever gets used to hold an ice pack onto my leg. It's never worn as a scarf. It's just used as, almost a rope. But a lot of times when we have spine injuries or osteoporosis, we have tightness in the hips. I was talking about mobility earlier. This is a great stretch. And then we switch sides. Cross the other foot over that knee, and then you pull towards you. This is also a nice substitution for if you're sitting in butterfly pose and the instructor wants you to bend forward to stretch your hips. This will give you a similar stretch, but you know your spine is in neutral because you're lying down. So you're not bending your spine to roll forward. Now put your feet down in a comfortable position. And when we have a spine injury or osteoporosis or anything like that, we tend to have fear around movement. Talked about that. And so we tend to hold tension and we tend to move less. And that can cause us to breathe more shallowly. So we don't want to breathe shallow breaths. We want to breathe big, deep breaths and get lots of oxygen into our body, get everything moving and flowing and pumping. So place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. Doesn't matter which one. As you inhale, breathe into your hands. Try to move your hands up towards the ceiling. Do that a few times on your own timing. I'm going to tell you a few things while you take 3 or 4 more breaths. We tend to hold our bellies in, or we have clothes that are constricting our bellies. Our bellies are meant to expand and contract and move as we breathe, as we eat food. I mean, your belly is going to look different every hour of the day, and that's how it's supposed to look. Because when we use our belly to breathe, we're using our diaphragm. And what that also does is when you do belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, that activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest, the opposite of fight or flight. So it's going to help lower those cortisol levels. It's going to help lower your stress levels. It's going to activate that vagus nerve to say, everything's fine. Now, if you're like, okay, but I can't breathe like that during a Pilates class. When I'm doing the 100, I need my abs engaged. Yes, you do. So put your hands on your ribs and imagine they're like an accordion. They're going to go out to the side and then in. So as you inhale, your ribs go wide. As you exhale, your ribs come together. So this is called lateral breathing. Keep going while I talk to you. So your abs can be fully engaged here. You can do your lateral breathing during the 100, during single leg circles, during ab series, during all of that. Your breaths might not be this big, but you can breathe sideways without going inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. That's shallow breathing up high in your chest. It's not very effective. That's kind of panicky breathing. If you see someone panicking, they're breathing up here. Last thing, breathe in all of the directions. I want you to imagine that your whole torso, right here, is a giant balloon, and you need to inflate the balloon. So think about breathing into all of those places. Put your hands wherever you'd like. Breathing sideways, up, back into the mat. Imagine your balloon is whatever your favorite color is. My balloon is purple. And you're filling the purple balloon and then letting it deflate. 2 more. One more. Excellent. All right, you guys. That is all I have. If you would like to do your roll down, you're more than welcome to. But if that is not good for your body, then obviously don't do it. But I know I usually like to do that at the end of our classes. So take this class as many times as you want. Don't forget to follow and subscribe so that you can be up to date on all the classes and tutorials that I post here. And yeah, there's more to come. So have a good one.